Kyle Larson has issued a statement following his attempt to do the double in the Indy 500 and the Coca Cola 600 yesterday, the day before today, Memorial Day, saying it was one of the most disappointing experiences in his life. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. This is what Kyle Larson posted earlier today on X. He says, "What I thought could be one of the best days of my life quickly turned into one of the most disappointing ones I've ever experienced. I hate it for Rick Hendrick, Jeff Gordon, HAG, Hendrick Motorsports, everyone a part of the 5 team, everyone on the 17 IndyCar for speeding, my family, my friends, my fans, and the documentary crew that has followed along the journey the past 8 months. So much time, money, and effort went into this experience, and it just kills me to have it all ended the way it did. I feel like I let so many people down. We knew all along weather could throw a wrench into things, but seeing it come to reality is a horrible feeling. Up until Sunday, it was truly one of the greatest experiences of my life. I can't describe how appreciative I am of everyone's support of me to live out a dream. I hope it's not the last opportunity I have to try the double, but if it is, I guess it was memorable. Thank you to everyone at Arrow McLaren, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and all the competitors there for making me feel welcomed. Ready to get back on track now and get refocused on winning a second championship for our team." Larson expressed similar comments immediately following the Indy 500, where he ended up finishing 18th due to a pit road speeding penalty. You can see here is a live look at him speeding on pit road. You can see he kind of burns the right front tire there. He would have to do a pass through. He was running in 6th. He would come out in 21st, a lap down, would eventually get his lap back, but was only able to salvage an 18th place finish and was basically eliminated from contention. This is what he said to NBC Sports immediately following the Indy 500.
Kyle Larson has finished his first IndyCar race, and it's the Indianapolis 500. He ran all 500 miles. What did you take from this? And are we going to see you back next year?
I would definitely love to be back next year. I feel like I learned a lot throughout the race. I made a couple mistakes, early there with the restart. Not sure what I did wrong there, but I somehow got myself into third, and then felt like I did a really good job on the restarts and was able to learn a lot, and definitely, feel good about knowing what I would need different for the balance, I think, coming back to help runs and stuff. And then, obviously I smoked a left front or something into the green flag stop and killed our opportunity. So, proud to finish, but pretty upset at myself. So, if I just could have executed a better race, you never know what could happen. So, bummed to myself, but huge thank you to Arrow McLaren, Hendrick Motorsports, Hendrick Automotive Group, Rick Hendrick, Chevrolet, Valvoline, everybody that's a part of this. So, we'll go hop on the jet and see if I can get into the 600 somehow.
Kyle.
So I've watched a lot of Kyle Larson interviews over the past couple of years, and that is about as emotional as he gets when it comes to obviously being down on himself. Usually he is kind of like an Iceman, doesn't really show a lot of emotions unless it's maybe a little bit being upset. But he's usually very calm, cool, and collected. Even when he makes mistakes, he seems to be able to admit that he's done that, and kind of address it very kind of matter of factly. But you can tell there that he was definitely down on himself. I feel that post on X that we just read moments ago, clearly he's kind of maybe in his own head a little bit. Hopefully he's able to kind of put this behind him, move forward, and continue to chase the NASCAR Cup Series championship, which he is still obviously very much in competition for. And I think this opportunity obviously just kind of raised his profile, raised the profile of both IndyCar and NASCAR. I think it raised the profile of other sporting events that he also competes in. Obviously, the High Limit Racing, which he's a co-owner in. Obviously, lots of highlights of him talking about his open wheel experience on dirt. I obviously think it races World of Outlaws, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, which he competes in regularly throughout the year as well. But I hope he really gets over it. I mean, because I've never seen him kind of down on himself before, but he is a champion. He's an elite level athlete. I'm sure he will be able to put this in the rearview mirror and move forward. And it sucks, man. He was running really good. You could tell that he was being very conservative out there on the track. He was learning so much over the course of the race. He was gradually improving. I felt lap over lap, watching the best IndyCar drivers in the world ahead of him. He was right up there with him. Like I said, he was running in sixth. He wasn't really outside of the top 10 at all for much of the race. I know he talked about there in the interview. He did have that one mishap on the restart where he switched to third gear, but was able to quickly recover from that. And I think that put him back to like maybe 12th or 13th. But he quickly moved forward. After that, was running in the top 10, was running just outside the top 5 when he had that pit road speeding penalty. That was his first time doing a green flag pit stop. Previously, it had just been caution pit stops under caution. So obviously, that is something that he learned from, made a mistake and learned from. And I hope he gets the opportunity to do it again next year. It sounds like there's a lot of other NASCAR drivers that might be interested in doing it. We've heard from Ryan Blaney. We've heard from Kyle Busch. That could be really fun. Maybe even seeing some of the Penske IndyCar drivers maybe do a double in the Coke 600. So that could be a lot of fun if we have a lot of like crossover and cross-pollination and just kind of really elevate both of these races. As far as what happened with the Coke 600, as soon as the Indy 500 ended, obviously after this interview, Larson hopped on a helicopter, took him to a jet, flew him down to Charlotte. He got to Charlotte, was literally putting his clothes on here, putting his stuff on, getting ready to swap with Justin Allgaier, who's filling in for him. And they went into a rain delay. He never actually took a lap in the car. So he did all of that for absolutely nothing. Like getting on the helicopter, getting on the jet, and they did the whole rain delay, and he didn't actually get to compete in a single lap. So that was obviously hugely disappointing. NASCAR obviously ended the race at 11:30 p.m., declaring Christopher Bell the winner and saying that it was called due to inclement weather, high humidity, and the likelihood of resuming action after 1 a.m. This morning. With the track drying process, the race has been declared official. That is what they posted. So I'm gutted for Kyle Larson as well. I was glued to the Indy 500. I was watching that over the Coca Cola 600. I was hoping that he would do really well, and he was. He was doing extremely well. Just made he made a couple mistakes, obviously going to third gear. He recovered from that, but then the mistake on pit road just was unable to recover from that one and ended up finishing in 18th. But I hope he gets the race again next year. I think the Indy 500 is still probably the biggest event in motorsports, even though maybe IndyCar isn't the most watched sport out there. Obviously, I think the numbers pale in comparison to NASCAR for the most part. But obviously, the Indy 500 is such a prestigious event, and Kyle Larson racing in it, doing really well, showing that he can compete with the best guys in IndyCar after really never racing an IndyCar race before. So it just kind of shows how really good he is. But let me know what you guys make of what Kyle Larson had to say here. What do you make of this kind of emotional post he posted here on X and his emotions following the race of the Indy 500? Clearly, he is still very kind of disappointed and appears to be disappointed with himself. So I hope he's able to put this behind him, move forward, look forward to chasing the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, look forward to getting back in the High Limit Racing Series, and looking forward to getting back into the Super Dirt Late Model. And then hopefully next year he gets ready to race in the Indy 500 again, and maybe get some redemption and races for the win, and gets that wreath of flowers and those bottles of milk. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.